Hi, welcome back. So, I'm going to continue what I was talking about earlier. Uh, I actually, when I finished working in for the discount store, I actually also decided to go and try to be self sufficient in as far as opening some kind of a small business, something. So I landed up going down to Canal Street. I don't know if you're familiar in New York City, Canal Street. It was it's an area where it's known for its bootleg merchandise, especially handbags and watches, where you can buy bootleg Louis Vuitton or Rolex watches and whatnot. So at that time, it wasn't that popular. It was actually more of a discount area. It was between the very rich area of Soho, which was just developing at that time, and Chinatown and Little Italy. So I actually, I don't know how I just went down there and I had something to sell or something, and I walked into this. It was a small shop that was selling like secondhand stuff and tools and things like hardware items. So when I went down there, I introduced myself and I sold this guy some things that I had that I needed. I needed to raise some money, I guess, at that time. So we became friends, and then he kind of asked me if I ever wanted to work for him. So I said, yeah, sure, why not? I had nothing going on. I mean, as long as he was going to pay me, okay. He didn't have a lot of money either. He was like just starting out. He was Romanian. His name was Gary, and he had a store called the Trader. Actually, if you look at the history of New York City and especially Canal Street, you actually can still see the where he was down on Canal Street. I checked it out on I googled it. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I saw it where I was actually working for a while. I worked there for about 8 years, I believe. So what happened was he uh, on the same block there was a building for sale. Excuse me, and it was actually the Knickerbocker Candy Company from the 1800s, and the family wanted to sell it. I think the old man had passed away, and actually right around the corner on West Broadway is a company called Sellers Chocolates. They sell chocolate candies with a cherry inside and some liquid. They're still in business today. Actually, you can buy their products in Walmart. You can buy those chocolates, and so this was the Knickerbocker Candy Company, and so he wanted to buy the building, and it was a 5-story building, very old building, um, and the family, I believe, they wanted at that time $75,000 for the building on Canal Street in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan. And by the way, that's near the Trinity Church, which owned a lot of real estate down there. Actually, I think they own the rights to the Holland Tunnel, which connects New York and New Jersey. So yeah, it was a good investment, that's for sure. So he didn't have all the money. I at that time, my grandmother had just passed away, and she had left me an inheritance of $10,000, which was quite a lot of money at that time. And his mother had some money saved up as well, and we actually loaned him the money to buy the building. So he had like a significant down payment, like 20K, and he bought the building from the family. So what happened was I started to work for him. So I kind of I didn't really look into the history of the area there very much, but I was walking one time. I was walking to the post office on Canal Street. They had a post office, and I looked up on some of the buildings. Most of the buildings were not very tall. I think 5 stories was probably the tallest in that area, going up, all the way up to the Manhattan Bridge, um, and I saw a lot of surplus signs, like painted old advertisement signs that were painted on some of the glass on the upper stories on some of the buildings. It said aircraft surplus, military surplus. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I did a little digging and I found out that after the Second World War, this was a main stream for like surplus from the Second World War. A lot of Army Navy stores, a lot of aircraft surplus material you can buy down there. So I actually thought, I said, that'd be a great idea. I wonder how a military store would work out down here, military surplus store. And I mentioned to my friend, we were more like friends than as an employee and an employer. And he liked the idea. So he said, yeah, go look into it, see if we can, where we can buy some military surplus and stuff. And actually, there was quite a few companies. I didn't realize it. I don't know if I'll tell you a tidbit of information. Walter Matthau, his brother, Hank Matthau, was actually in the military surplus business on Broadway in New York City, which I thought was really, really cool. And he actually looks like Walter Matthau. So it was really, that was one source of that he would sell wholesale to us. And there was another company, I believe was called Schwartzman. And then you had, there was another company that actually in Long Island, Rothko, yeah, so it was interesting. And you can, buy from the military itself and military auctions and whatnot. So we slowly converted the store to military surplus, which it became very successful. I mean, it was like unbelievable. He was like making money hand over foot, and he was paying me quite well at the time. That time I was making like I was netting like 600 a week, which was quite a nice chunk of change at that time. We're talking about the late '70s, so. And then I bought a house, a brand new house. I bought up in Harriman, New York, and yeah, it was a pretty interesting time in my life, and I stayed there for quite a while. Actually, when I did leave there, uh, he kept on going. I think he was in business maybe a total of close to 20 years. He ended up selling that building for over $5 million. That's $75,000 investment. So it was quite a good investment, that's for sure. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I will continue. I have some other interesting stories to tell you guys. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.